Ladies and gentlemen, I humbly apologize for how long it's taken me to get back to this once again. I had originally intended to pretty much finish it up this week, this game, but my recovery from my illness last week took longer than I anticipated, pretty much all the way up until yesterday. Today is Saturday the 16th, and regardless, I wanted to, before we do anything else, touch on something that my friend Mr. Latham has repeatedly asked me to look into, and I have repeatedly forgotten to. When we beat up Lefty, we left him alive and coerced him into treating the peasants with more respect. So let's see if I can figure out where the hell that is. Here it is. Made it clear to Lefty they better not annoy me with his water-carrying theories. Some people only learn through pain. So, basically, if you had chosen to kill Lefty immediately instead of talking to him, the quest complete entry would be different and would acknowledge the fact that you killed him. So, I was asked to look into it and see what happens if you do actually kill Lefty.
Okay.
I don't think it's okay, buddy.
No problem.
Now it's okay. Ah, so it does give you a new entry. I wasn't sure it would since we already completed the quest. Now that Lefty's dead, the matter about the water should be all over and done with. I never liked that guy. So it does change, and you do in fact get a second quest complete entry out of it. And a bit of extra experience. And no one else really seems to care. Maybe the Rice Lord cares.
Hello, friend. You've given me a
I'm no friend of yours, buddy.
I'm to bring... That was a few days ago.
Oh, yeah? You want to say...
I didn't see a thing.
Damn right you didn't. You poor sucker. Alright, so... what we have to do next, or now, is actually speak with Xardas in regards to this sword we found and the fact that we can't seem to progress beyond the ultimate shaman. Ultimate shaman in the temple. So let's just see what he has to say about that. Perhaps he can offer us some insight or some power to go beyond that particular shaman's resistance.
I have found a way into the underground temple.
You have? That's remarkable.
It is
You
indeed.
have become very powerful, stronger than anybody else inside the barrier. Maybe you really are the man the Orcish prophecies told of.
Oh, prophecies.
Prophecies? What prophecies?
Ancient Orcish documents written shortly after the sealing of the underground temple mention a holy foe.
A holy foe?
Someone who shall come to drive the sleeper from our world forever.
I am supposed to be the one mentioned in the ancient prophecies? You must be wrong, surely.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, that's putting it very succinctly. Now, the concept of a prophecy has long been a staple in like fantasy RPGs, and it's always such a convenient like little cop-out for any kind of clever writing. And I'm kind of sick of the idea. There were a few games that did it really, really well. I would say Morrowind is a good example, because in Morrowind it kind of had an interesting twist on the idea of a prophecy. Oblivion and Skyrim had prophecies that pretty much your character just walked right into, whereas Morrowind had an interesting case where you actually had to work to fulfill the prophecy. Like, it had a prophecy that already existed, but you were not the prophesized hero until you pretty much forced your way into becoming the prophesized hero. I kind of like that a little bit better. But this one, on multiple occasions, and this has long been kind of scrutinized by the Gothic community, is just a way that the writers for Gothic have written in very convenient, like, they just don't. We don't like the kind of disparity between the everyman appeal of the hero and the fact that he seems to be the center of all these random prophecies that really the plot would not be any worse without these prophecies written into them. So there was no real need for them, and there are like a dozen of ways you could have rewritten it that would have made it even better. But regardless,
I found this strange sword.
Show it to me. That's interesting. It has Uriziel written on it. I've heard of this sword. It's a weapon from the olden days, when the human race was still young. The weapon was forged from an unknown material, and there's nothing written about who created it. This blade was said to possess unbelievable powers, but I don't notice any magical aura.
Uriziel possessed unbelievable powers?
It was written that the owner of the weapon was able to pierce the strongest armor, and to overcome even the most powerful of protection spells.
How could the orcs get this powerful weapon into their hands?
It's claimed that the orcs took it from a powerful warlord. They didn't know how to use it, but they did hide it.
Don't you just hit
They
things
didn't
with
hide
it?
well enough. Is it possible to restore the former powers of the weapon?
You'd need a very strong magical source of power for that purpose.
You mean strong enough to detonate the magic barrier with?
About that strong. Besides, you'll need a very special magic formula in order to transfer the power. Give me some time, and I'll create the magic formula.
Meanwhile, I'll be hunting around for better armor. These patchwork minecrawler plates have been pierced too often in the underground temple.
You should go to my old tower.
Your old tower?
It sank below one of the eastern lakes during one of the earthquakes. The spires are still visible above the surface. There are still some artifacts inside it. I never made any effort to salvage them.
How do I get there?
I haven't been there since the earthquake, which means you'll have to find a way to enter it yourself. But take this key. It opens a chest in which I used to store some particularly rare artifacts.
Interesting, interesting. So, he now will teach us the sixth circle of magic, which is kind of important later, and we will get that. There's no real need for it right now. But, you know what? I just lost my train of thought. I had something important I was going to say. What the hell was it? Oh, yeah, it's interesting that the hero will actually, he'll talk specifically about his armor in regards to whatever armor you happen to be wearing. So if I was wearing the mage's robe when I talked to him, he would actually say his comment would be in regards to the mage's robe being inferior protection. But since I'm wearing the Minecrawler plates, he talks about how the armor was deteriorated in the conflict below, which isn't actually true because the armor protects just as well as it ever has. But, you know, you kind of get the picture. He's just trying to basically say that the armor is not really holding up the way it needs to. Now, while we take care of this, I wanted to kind of address a couple comments I've gotten recently. By recently, I mean like at least a week ago, because I haven't really done anything in the meantime to really touch upon them. But I had an interesting comment in regards to my Gothic 2 walkthrough, and how, like, in terms of my voice, I sounded so much different back then. And the fellow who commented actually asked if I was like a recovering drug user or something. I thought that was pretty interesting. I get the idea. I sounded very tired and very lethargic. That was, first of all, because I was at school while I was doing most of that walkthrough, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of sleep. But the bigger answer is simply the fact that my microphone at the time was just this Turtle Beach headset, which was really meant for, you know, chatting during online gaming. It wasn't meant for actually recording high-quality audio tracks. So, on top of that was just the fact that I knew I was very inexperienced as far as audio editing goes. So, it was just pretty crappy quality in the commentary tracks that led to my commentary sounding so crappy and tired. But Anyway, in order to get into Xardas' tower, we actually do have to swim down here. And I told you guys about this before when we came through here on our way to Xardas for the first time. Now, one of the things that kind of annoys me about swimming in these games is if you used a mouse to move the character up and down when you're in the water, it'll take the camera with it. But if you use the movement keys to go up and down, the camera doesn't follow him. So it can be very hard to see where you're going if you are trying to do it without the mouse. And down here are loads of skeletons. We got some scouts, warriors. Let's see, we don't need those. There's lots of skeletons, also several zombies. Which actually, I don't think we've encountered any zombies yet, which is interesting. So it's the first place you run into them. Alright, got the warrior to begin with, which is the most important. Man, these guys can barely even hurt me. Fuck you. Bugger off. You are a bitch, my friend. No, sir. And the fortunate thing about zombies is they move very slowly, so it is very easy to fall back and fire this Death to Undead spell at them. So, no real concern about fighting them. They are extremely annoying because they do have a... They're very slow... Excuse me. Very slow to attack, which means they have a... Their AI has a high tendency of backing off when you're trying to hit them, and so you can't damage them, and it makes fighting them in melee extremely tedious. Just something I always hated. But it's a little concern because it's very easy to kill them with this, because they move so slowly. And because they attack so slowly, even if they get close to you, you tend... Eesh. Even if they get close to you, close enough to attack you, you probably have enough time to cast this spell in order to kill them. The zombies in this game actually used to really give me the creeps. The way they screamed was so, like, unbelievably unnerving. It was, like, literally one of the most, like, pained screams I've ever heard in a video game up to that point. So I was very surprised by it. Alright, for some reason, once again... Damn mage seems to be immune to the Death to Undead spell. Oh, well, that hit him. So yeah, because they move so slowly, very easy to just back off, try again. I do like the sound effect that goes along with that spell. It's very cool. And there are quite a few more left. There are 2 chambers off to the side, both which have some powerful loot. And if you do get annoyed fighting these guys in melee, but you don't have the Death to Undead spell, it's pretty easy to just climb up here, stand against a wall where they can't reach you, and shoot them with a bow. Or any other spells you have. This is probably going to hit the wall. Nope. Beautiful. So yeah, he can't hit me from here, but I can hit him with this. Come on, buddy. Let me see ya. Where are you going? Where the hell did he go? What? Oh, he fell down here. You poor sucker. And for all their trouble, the zombies don't have any loot on them, which is very unfortunate. But, Xardas has some nice potions in here. As he said, some very nice artifacts. And one thing in particular that will be of great pleasure. So So nothing really too valuable on this side. The other side is altogether... Oh, there was another one. You single-minded fool. Learn to pathfind, bitch. So yeah, I don't know why, but this is like the only location in the game where you actually fight zombies like this. And here in these two chests, we find more crap. And something that's altogether a lot less crappy. Whoa. Now this is very, very helpful in a number of ways. Here we have the ore armor, though. Where is it? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There it is. The ancient ore armor, made of magic ore. Now it's interesting that normally when you want to make armor, you don't want to make armor out of something that's exceptionally heavy. You want to design it out of a lighter material and fashion it in such a way that it really maximizes its resistance. I would think that the magic ore, being ideal for the most powerful weapons, would probably be altogether pretty heavy. So not really something you would generally want to make armor out of, but you know, they never really talk about the actual physical properties of the ore, as it were. So it's hard to really say. So let us go speak with Xardas. Now that we have the armor, perhaps he'll have the magical formulae ready.
I see. You're wearing the ore armor.
I found it in one of those old chests in the sunken tower.
It belonged to the general who wielded Uriziel in the battle against the Yorks.
I hope it'll bring me more luck than it did him. Have you completed the magic formula to reactivate Uriziel?
It's done, but you won't be able to use it by yourself.
Why not?
It has to be spoken by a magician while you touch the power source with the sword.
Then I'll have to look around for some support.
Take the formula and restore the sword's former power. You'll need it.
Now, it begs the question why I can't, since I am a mage, why I can't speak the spell and plunge the sword into the ore at the same time. But I guess that would be a little too convenient.
Since I'm a magician, it'll be hard for me to wield Uriziel.
There is a solution, but first you have to restore the blade's former powers. Then come back.
Alright then. So, the problem with Uriziel is that it is actually a two-handed sword. I don't think we can actually even equip it yet. Oh, we can. So, the good thing is it really requires almost nothing in terms of strength. But it is a two-handed sword, which means it's pretty useless to us. And it does not in any way benefit anyone who is focused on one-handed combat. So it is just extremely unfortunate for anyone who is neither a mage nor a two-handed warrior. The good thing is in Gothic 2, in the Night of the Raven expansion, they have a very similar weapon. But the good thing about that weapon is it will actually adjust its properties based on what your highest skill set is.
Greetings, my friend. I haven't seen you for ages.
Hello, Milton. A lot has happened since we met the last time. I would like to tell you everything, but I don't have the time right now. I'm in a hurry. Milton, I need your help.
What's up? How can I help you?
Let's go somewhere where we can talk.
Fine. Follow me.
Sorry, Milton, I don't have time to tell you anything. But Milton, let me tell you what's up. So let us speak in the library then.
Now tell me, what is it?
I need the magic powers of the ore mound, and I don't think it would be a good move to ask the other magicians of water.
You're joking.
This is no time for jokes. I'm deadly serious. I've seen Xardas, the necromancer. I'm working under his orders.
Xardas? You're beginning to scare me. Nobody has spoken to him since he left the old camp.
Except
I
me.
have.
What do you need the powers of the ore mound for?
I want to transfer them to this sword here.
Wow, what a weapon!
Its name is Uriziel. Xardas gave me this magic spell to carry out the transfer. You will have to recite it while I bring the sword and the ore together.
It looks as if I only have to read out this spell. But we'll get into trouble with Xardas and the other magicians.
We'll have to take that risk. It really is very, very important. Important for all inhabitants of the colony.
I don't understand.
It will get us out of here. You have to trust me.
All right. After all you have done for us, I trust you completely. Besides,
Bad idea.
It seems Xardas trusts you as well. Meet me down at the ore mound and don't tell anybody.
Good.
I'm the one who told
Let's
you
meet at
that.
the ore mound. See you there.
Alright, so Melty will meet us down there. Not really sure what that merc is doing there. Let's speak with Riordi and see if he has any really nice potions to purchase before we piss these guys off completely. Not particularly. We don't really need any of the healing or mana potions because we have more than enough just by finding them. I do want to see, just one final time, if, did I ever pick up the Rain of Fire spell? I don't think I did. I did not. Let us grab that from Kronos before we continue. Pacow! No, you may not.
I can.
We'll worry about mana. We can get that from Xardas.
I want to.
So, let me see. Let me peruse your runes. Ice Block's not going to help us. Fireball, Storm of Fire. I don't see anything. Someone said that he would have had it. But I don't see it. So, that is a shame then. A lot of ice runes. Only Storm of Fire and Fireball. If he has the spell scrolls, we might take those. But what we also need to pick up from him... Let's just grab 5 to be safe. You'll see what I have in mind for those, and it's going to make our lives a lot easier later on. Basically, that is an altogether much simpler solution to the problem of the of getting into the Sleeper's Temple the second time. If you want to forego slaughtering all the orcs on the outside, which I do. I know a lot of people are going to say, probably criticize me for missing out on all that cheap experience for not killing them. But again, to an extent, I like to roleplay in a role-playing game, go figure. And the way I see it, I just really don't want to kill all the orcs who altogether had very little to do with this. And our friend Urshak still holds a fondness and a loyalty to his brethren in spite of the fact that they banished him. So for him to go through all that trouble helping us, only for us to turn around and kill everyone that he ever cared about, that's not how I want to play this hero, you know? Now, it is fortunate that of all times, this is where the guard protecting the ore mound happens to have vacated.
Have you got the sword and the spell?
Here, take the spell. Are you ready?
As ready as one can be for this crazy plan.
Then let's do it.
It's done.
Unbelievable. The plain gray gem is shimmering bluish now.
That's really not my problem. I'm not involved. You're very probably right. You have to watch what you tell people. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes.
That's a good sign. The magic powers of the ore mound really seem to be in the old sword now. But our little operation here seems to have attracted some attention. You should teleport yourself directly out of here.
What about you?
Don't worry about me. I'll think of something. Go now.
So, of course, we're just going to leave our good friend Melty behind to deal with the consequences of our actions, even though he was involved in this quite heavily as well. But the Uriziel sword is now much more powerful than it was before, and in fact, what's interesting about it is it does do magic damage and fire damage. It does not actually have physical damage. So it can be a bit tough for against certain enemies who have a high magic resistance. But we don't really have to worry about that because we are not using this as a melee weapon. Now, it's kind of funny that although the alarm has been raised, all the guys up above are still having their ordinary just meaningless chit-chat. But if we were to go upstairs where the water mages are, because we saw in the cutscene that they were well aware of what we were doing. And an interesting thing about the cutscene, for some reason, when I was recording it with Fraps, which I have to do for Gothic in order to avoid the graphical glitches, the cutscene did not show up. I'm not really sure why. So I had to actually record the cutscene with a different program and then switch back to Fraps. But regardless, basically as soon as we walk in here, hang on, what?
For the honor.
Whoa, whoa!
May you reach.
Ah, something's gone terribly wrong here. These guys are actually supposed to be pissed off. And they're supposed to be attacking me, but for some reason they aren't. Basically, the mages are supposed to be pissed because you were supposed to help them figure out how to blow up the ore mound to take down the barrier, and instead you robbed the ore mound of all its power in order to charge this sword. And they're supposed to be permanently hostile after that. They're never supposed to talk to you again, which is why none of them have any additional dialogue. But for some reason, the game is glitched and it's not actually doing that. Which is good news for Melty, because that means he can get out of here safely. Anyway, once again I forgot to start my timer. But, well, with that taken care of, let us go speak with Xardas and see what the fuck up.
I've reactivated Uriziel.
It's incredible. The sword has regained its former powers. Now you have a really powerful weapon.
Indeed.
You said there might be a way for me to wield Uriziel, though I'm a magician?
Look closely at Uriziel. You'll notice the big blue jewel in the blade. It contains the magical powers of the blade. If I remove the jewel, I'll be able to create a magic rune, which contains the attributes of Uriziel itself.
A magic rune made from Uriziel?
In battle, the rune will be as powerful as the sword. But don't forget that only a magician of the Sixth Circle will be able to control such a powerful magic rune.
Well, then I guess it's very important that we do that.
Remove the jewel from Uriziel.
But you have not yet mastered the Sixth Circle of magic. This decision is final. Do you really want me to remove the jewel?
Now, it's good that he warns you about that, but we're going to learn it immediately afterwards anyway.
Yes, do it.
Since it's what you want. Here, take the empty sword and the rune.
Now, interesting how he fashioned the rune that quickly.
Can you teach me?
I shall raise you into the Sixth Circle of magic. Notice that only the most powerful magicians may join the Sixth Circle. It's reserved to those whose life is a sign. Your sign is the unification of the elements. The Sixth Circle enables you to use the magic of any rune. And don't forget, do not claim the power, but serve it.
Interesting. And he has given us actually the Black Mage robe, which is kind of surprising and very interesting. But unfortunately, It would have been nice to have this earlier, perhaps in the mine. I mean, in the temple. But it's not really a big deal. It's still just not as powerful as the ore armor itself. But even the ore armor can become yet more powerful. And the way we do that, I will show you in just a moment. But first... this is our ticket into the old camp, now that the gates have been drawn. And I do believe we have some unfinished business there.